Hey, Zach here from World of Game Design with another entry in our How to Play series. This one is another indie RPG called Primal Quest. It's sold as a weird stone and sorcery adventure game and is designed by Diogo Nogueira. This zine is specifically called Essentials in the line, and it contains everything needed to learn the rules, make a character, and run through several sessions. Heck, there's even a hex crawl in the back. Now, the fact that this is called Essentials makes me think that maybe there's more in store, but this is pretty contained all in itself, and it's presented as a full game, so let's just dive into it. Weird stone and sorcery is a little vague for my taste, though, so before we dive into how to play, let's dive into what this game is really all about. Primal Quest presents a mythical Stone Age with primitive humans, newly domesticated livestock, dwarves, dinosaurs, mutated dinosaurs, ancient beings, living plants, giant bugs, dire beasts, abominable monsters, mammoths, and alien terrors. You are meant to explore the hex map, or your own hex map, gather resources for survival and advancement, and then experience secrets, dangers, and random encounters. One thing I really liked about the system is that almost all of the presented random and not so random encounters do not have a predetermined outcome. Primal Quest simply presents that you come upon, say, cave bears dragging a dire wolf corpse, but it doesn't tell you how they respond to your intrusion. It leaves that to a reaction mechanic. What this means is that it's really an exploration and discovery game where gameplay is meant to emerge authentically at the table. As a whole, this game cares much more about those themes than combat or roleplay, though you're sure to see both of those pop up in your adventures as well. This is not meant to be, in my opinion, a brutal or a loose game. You're not supposed to die frequently, but neither are you supposed to devalue the role of chance. This is a game, and it has mechanics, and you're going to run with those mechanics. Let's take a look at those mechanics real quick. The game uses a pool of d6s for every character. You'll need your pool to consist of 2 colors of die, as some will be positive and some negative. At its base, you'll be gunning to hit a difficulty level from 0 to 6, and you'll be rolling 2d6s for each check. 1 for each color, 1 positive one, 1 negative one. And then you'll be subtracting the negative die from the positive. Take that result and compare it to your initial difficulty, and if your result is 0 or higher, you succeed, and the higher the number is that you end up with, the greater your interpretable success. If your result is below 0, you fail. In-game attributes and tags will allow you modifiers to your rolls, giving you pluses or minuses, and increasing your positive and negative dice pools. If you ever roll more than 1 die per pool, you only care about the highest result in each category. So, if you rolled, say, 3 positive dice, 2 negatives, and your results were 1, 1, 4, and then 2 and 2 on the negative side, you would compare the highest number in the positives, 4, and then reduce it by the highest number on the negatives, 2, and that would be your result. If a 2 meets or exceeds the difficulty rating, Bob's your uncle, you succeed. Now let's roll over to the character sheet. As you can see, it's really short and really dynamic. I love it. Each character has 3 attributes: body, mind, and heart. At the start of the game, you get 3 points to put in these attributes however you like. You're going to distribute amongst them. And you can even go negative in an attribute to gain an additional point or 2. For every one that you go negative, you get an extra point to put in something else. No attribute can have a starting score of more than 3, however. Body determines your vitality, or hit points, your attack value, your carrying capacity, strength, dexterity, endurance. You get the picture. Mind affects your perception, your memory, your knowledge, and the casting of spells and sorcery. Oh yeah, their sorcery. We'll cover that in combat. Heart is your willpower, charisma, empathy, and also is how you regain lost vitality after resting. That's kind of unique in my book, to have your hit points based off body, but regain hit points based off something else. I like it. There's a sneaky fourth stat as well, which is defense, and it's totally determined by your worn armor and shields. Each character will also come up with their own entries for concept, talent, motivation, relationship, and trouble. These can be anything, but should be short and precise. Whatever you choose to put in these boxes becomes a tag, and you can use a tag to give you a bonus positive die in any test where you utilize that tag. By the way, you can also earn additional positive die by good roleplay, tactical advantages, and other things the GM appreciates. Tags are a big part of gaining the advantage you need in order to succeed on your rolls. Without utilizing your tags, in another way, without playing your character, you're going to have a harder time succeeding. By getting into your character, playing it properly, playing it the way you presented it on paper, you're going to find yourself doing a lot better as time goes on. You'll likely learn and earn even more tags as you play the game. You get a loadout kit for your initial gear and weapons, but you'll need to quickly begin your hunt for additional units of water and food. You'll lose one of both each day, and dehydration and starvation can kill you quick. This, even just being somewhat dehydrated and somewhat starved, can result in additional negative dice, and you can also earn negative dice by one of your tags hurting you in a situation, and other elements as determined by the GM. That's basically it for the sheet, so let's end this section with another example roll. Your game master calls for you to make a body test to maneuver across a log that sits above a roaring river. They say the difficulty is 1, a hard test. Your body score is 2, and you have a tag that says you're hunting your sister as motivation. And you know for a fact that your sister lies somewhere on the other shore. The GM agrees that you should get an extra positive die for that, so you'll be rolling 2 positive die, 1 negative, and then you'll get to add your +2 for body. Let's say you end up rolling a 3 and a 4, and then on the other side, a 5. Subtracting the 5 from the 4 gets you a -1, but your body bonus of +2 brings your score up past 0 to 1. Just enough to make the difficulty. You succeed and maneuver across the log without incident. At this point, we're at the final segment, combat. But really, we've pretty much covered the basics, so this should be quick. All enemies in Primal Quest have 4 features, and that's it. A level, a damage, a vitality, and potentially a special ability. Level informs the GM of the difficulty level of the creature. The players will have to beat this number with a body test in order to hit the creature with a weapon attack, and they will have to beat this number in a defense test in order to dodge these creatures' attacks. Speaking of attacks, their damage score represents a static number of damage they will do with each hit. Now, the rules aren't clear, but I think that you would add a point of damage for each point away from the difficulty range your defense fails by. So if you failed your defense test by 2, you would add 2 to the base damage of any creature. By the way, that also applies to you as a player character. If you succeed on your attack test, your body test by 2, more than 2, you're going to deal an extra 2 points of damage with your weapon. Alright, so vitality is the third thing. Vitality communicates their number of hit points, and special abilities, number 4, communicate what makes them mechanically unique. Super, super easy. You get all of that on just one little tiny line of text. When a PC drops to 0 vitality, they are unconscious. When you drop below 0, you must make a body test with a penalty equal to your current vitality score. Succeeding means they are unconscious, and failing means that you are injured, unconscious, and if nobody heals you, you're going to die in an hour. One thing I'll note here, let's clarify. If you get hit by a big attack and it drops you to -2 vitality, pass 0 to -2, when you roll that body test, you're going to have a -2 to that. So keep in mind, dealing damage beyond 0 does matter in this game, unlike D&D and some others. The only other aspect of combat, and the game in general, is sorcery. So let's hit that real briefly and then close this out. By manipulating primal forces, you can channel the essence of the void to produce magic. For every spell that you wish to cast, you'll need an arcane focus item that relates in some way to that spell. Maybe you have a dead spider to cast spells of entanglement, for example. There's no list of spells, nor is there an exact directive for what all spells can do. Instead, when you describe what you're attempting, the GM will determine if it's a cantrip, an invocation, a ritual, or a miracle in difficulty. A cantrip requires a mind test, and that test will be at a difficulty 1. All of these will require mind tests. Your mind score is how you cast magic. So cantrip will take a mind test with a difficulty level of 1. Invocations require difficulty 2, and you will have to add a negative die to your pool. Rituals take 10 minutes, 2 additional negative die, and have a difficulty of 4. If you dare to attempt such a thing, miracles are difficulty 8, like practically impossible. A miracle, if you will, and require 4 negative dice and 6 hours of casting time. If the caster wants to juice their roll, they absolutely can, by spending points of their own vitality or touching a willing or helpless target and spending their vitality. Doing either one or both allows you to siphon vitality and turn it into positive dice. For every point of vitality you drain, you get an extra positive die on your magic roll. I like this system a lot because it keeps the focus on resources, the arcane focuses, and the vitality points. And it doesn't bog down the system with a bunch of additional rules. This section gets a 5-star rating for me. It is super good. I love this spell system. That's it, folks. That's the video. I'm going to leave links down in the show notes about where you can pick up Primal Quest. It's kind of hard to find if you don't know where to look. But it's published by Exalted Funeral, so you can either get it there or you can pick up a PDF on DriveThruRPG or Itch. This is a very new game, but it's just not made it out to a lot of markets yet. There's also a really nice third-party license available for the game, so if you enjoyed this and you want to write your own publishable content, you can absolutely do that. Just go read the guidance doc and maybe chat with Diogo before you do. If you like this video, consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot of great content and different playlists all centered around getting you into more RPGs and making those games better. We also have a podcast. It's called Geeks Can't, and it features myself and a couple of Yahoo Game Master friends chatting about topics that came up at our game tables, talking Kickstarters, RPG news, and interviewing creators by the dozens. Go give us a listen if podcasts are your thing. It's also recorded live right here on YouTube and also on Twitch and Facebook every single week. You can expect another video like this about a different system every few weeks. Until then, we'll see you next time.